Okay, I'm going to come at you hard in this video because you need to understand at the end of this video that you absolutely have the power to create change. Let me ask you something. Have you ever looked at your life and thought, I know I'm capable of more than this? Not in an arrogant way, not in a fantasy way, just a quiet, honest knowing. Like there's something in you that hasn't been fully used yet. And the strange part is nothing is technically wrong. You're responsible, you handle your life, you do what needs to be done. But underneath all of that, there's this persistent feeling that you're only using a fraction of what God actually built you to handle. And the longer that feeling sits there, the harder it gets to ignore. Your life doesn't shrink all at once. It does it slowly. You don't make the decision you should have made. You don't take the risk you should have taken. You keep lowering the expectation for yourself. And you don't maybe realize it, but over time, you're just not doing as much. The life you're living becomes smaller. The person you are smaller. I know this is so hard to hear. It's not because you're weak. Please don't misunderstand me here. It's because you stopped using your own power. And you have that within you. Everything you need to do is within you. Don't ever forget that. So in this video, I'll show you why so many capable people underestimate what they're made of. What personal agency looks like, important to understand. When life gets hard, how to start using the strength God already placed inside of you instead of waiting for change to happen. Again, you can make the change. You are responsible for changing, not anybody else. So I wanted to picture something simple. I want you to think about this. Imagine someone gave you a brand new truck or fancy sports car. You pick the vehicle. It has a strong engine and a full tank of gas. It's built to hold serious weight or might be used for pleasure, but instead of driving, you just leave it parked in your driveway. And every day you walk past it, you wave, you're like, that's a cool car, that's a cool truck. You might even stop and sit in it sometimes. You admire it, but you never actually put it to work. Now imagine doing that for years. At some point, you'd start believing something strange. You'd start thinking the truck isn't capable of much, right? But the truth is, it's not the truck that's limited. It's the fact that it's never been used. And honestly, this is what a lot of people are doing with their own lives. God gave you a mind that can think, a body that can act, a will that can choose. But if those things never get fully exercised, if they're just sitting in the driveway, literally picture that stuff, your own talents, sitting in that fancy car or truck. And it's time to ask yourself if this is the person you want to be, or is it time to start up, wake up, and drive that car? Like you got to get in a car, turn the ignition on, and let it fly. So let's start by talking about why most people underestimate what they're made of. One of the biggest lies people carry around is this idea that some people are just built differently. You hear it all the time. Well, she's just naturally disciplined. I'm not that way. Or he's just wired to work harder. I'm just not that kind of person. But that's not really how human capacity works. Strength, mental, emotional, physical, is built through use. Like you have to actually use those things. Like a muscle. If you lift weights for the first time, it feels terrible. Your arms shake, your muscles burn, you feel weak. But that discomfort doesn't mean you're incapable. It means you're activating something that hasn't been used enough yet. And life works the same way. Responsibility builds capacity. Effort builds endurance. Pressure builds resilience. Think about that. Most people quit in the exact season where their strength was about to grow. You were just getting stronger. Let me say that again. Most people quit in the exact season where their strength was about to grow. Not because they couldn't handle it, because you, again, can do anything. Because when you really think about a time this has happened to you, you could handle it. You just didn't. And that's the honest truth. You quit because it didn't feel comfortable. Because I guess you like things easy. Okay. So why do you not like being uncomfortable? This is the question you have to ask yourself. There's this thing that we have, and it's called our personal agency. Having agency simply means this. You believe your choices, the things that you choose to do, influence what happens next. Not everything. You can't control everything, but you absolutely can control some things. You can control how hard you work, your effort, your response, your openness to learning, your own standards. And when people stop believing they have influence over their own life, like if you've given that up to other people and you're just like, well, what everybody else wants to do, something very dangerous happens. You become passive. You start waiting. I say watching your life from the sidelines. I like to use that phrase. I spend a lot of time watching my kids play sports. You're like waiting for motivation, waiting for the perfect timing, waiting for someone to tell you what to do. And really, you're waiting for what you know is going to be scary and you don't think you're going to be successful and you can't fail, right? You want all that to be perfect, but waiting slowly actually trains your mind to believe that you're powerless. And again, you're trying to wire your brain to think differently. And the reality is you're not. You are far more capable of creating movement in your life, actual motion, than you've probably been told or ever really believed about your own self. Do you know what it means to have grit? So personal agency, now grit. Grit is often misunderstood. People think grit means being intense or aggressive. But that's not what it really is. Grit is simply staying with something when it gets inconvenient. It's continuing when you're tired, you're unsure, you're not very good yet. It's the decision to keep showing up. And from a faith perspective, grit is actually stewardship. God gives each of us abilities, opportunities, and strengths, but these gifts are meant to be used. Not buried, not ignored, not protected from discomfort. They're meant to be developed. Remember, you got to drive the car. And development always requires effort, but you, no one else, it's up to you. This has to come from you. So can we agree that it's time to stop waiting to feel ready? I think you have to get this next idea really ingrained into your brain. Here's something most people don't realize. You rarely feel ready for the things that grow you. Rarely. If you're ready, it probably means you already know how to do it, right? So which means there's no growth in doing it. Again, confidence doesn't come first. Confidence only comes from action. When you act, you will gain confidence. You need agency and grit in order to act. It's no more difficult than trying something, anything. You struggle, you figure it out. Then your brain slowly starts to believe, okay, maybe I can handle more than I thought. This is exactly how I started making my videos. I struggled, and then I figured it out. And I'm still trying to figure it out. And hopefully a year from now, my videos will be much better than they are today. But if you wait until you feel confident before acting, you'll wait forever. And then time is going to zoom by and you're still going to be waiting. Pause and ponder that. No one else will ever do what you are capable of because you are the only one that can do it. Please understand that. Confidence is built through evidence. Evidence comes from doing. You're the only one that can do what you can do. And then finally, when you feel pressure, agency and grit, then this pressure thing arrives. Remind yourself that it just reveals what's already there. Being anxious and feeling pressure is actually a good thing. I know for some of you that might be hard to understand. One of the most fascinating things about people is this. When pressure shows up, something gets revealed about you. People discover strength they didn't know they had or not. They handle situations they never imagined they could handle or not. They become more creative, more resourceful, and absolutely more resilient. And afterward, they say something like, I had no idea I could do that. But the truth is, that strength didn't appear out of nowhere. It was already there. Pressure. Being under pressure just forced it to the surface. And sometimes the only way to discover what you're made of is to stop protecting yourself from difficulty. My mom has dementia and has been in a care center for almost 6 years. During her third year in the center, she had a spot of skin cancer on her face that she needed to have removed. It was like kind of right in here. She was really too frightened to undergo the Mohs procedure, which if you've gone through this, you will know, in the doctor's office. So instead, they opted to do it under anesthetic. I was there through the whole thing because I knew it would be a hard day for her. In the recovery room, I sat next to her when she came to and started looking around. And I remember she had her blanket pulled up to her chin. And I know if you know someone with dementia, it's hard for them to be in new places. She didn't see me sitting next to her, but I watched and listened and heard the profound things she said next. And this always makes me emotional. She said, I'm a strong woman. I can do this. Yes, you are, Mom, and so are you. Believe that. Believe in yourself. You can do anything, and within you, God has given you the strength and power to create the change you might need so desperately. In my mom's honor and in your own honor, you can do anything.